Takes a few seconds. And we are live. Welcome, everybody. We are today with Yuri from Skyvia. Thank you, Yuri, for joining us. And yeah, we're really excited to have this product demo with you today. I think your solution is pretty universal and could be very useful to us for many of the projects we do at Allegria. So I invited everybody from the team. You'll have project managers, salespeople, but also people from the marketing growth team, people from HR, because we don't do just do projects for clients. We also do, Nocode internally for ourselves. We kind of like use the tools we actually use for clients internally. That's we lost Yuri. I think he's upstage now. You're back. And so, yeah, it can be of interest for everyone, both for external projects, internal projects. So yeah, really happy to have you. The plan for today, we have about half an hour together. So we'd love to have like a bit of context about your company and yourself. And then, of course, the main part, the big piece is to deep dive into the product so everybody kind of have a feel about your platform. And we'll leave some time at the end for Q&As and potentially bring some people on stage with us. Sounds good?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having me today, guys. And it's a pleasure to present our platform today and our company. So Skyvia have been on the market since 2014. And our parent company is actually called Devart. Devart is in the market since 1997, working on different database management tools. And yeah, overall, some of the unique things which you might need to know, like things which I'm going to cover. We are more like time-based. We're not trigger-based. The fastest frequency we can go is like every minute integrations, which is important to know. Skyvia actually consists out of 4 separate products. The most important one is data integration. This is the one which we'll be focused on. And in our data integration, there are 6 different tools inside, which I'm going to show as well, like starting from importing like from different sources, cloud apps, on-premise servers, or anything like that, to other cloud apps, servers to data warehouses, and finishing with the complex data pipelines and control flows. So, and
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and so in this case, let me probably share my screen. So I'll go over our platform, and if anyone has any questions on the way, feel free to use chat or something like that.
Got it. But we already heard quite a few interesting things. I'm sure we'll talk again either during your demo or during the Q&A. I think let's touch on that later. Over to you. Did you add your screen?
Yes. I think, can you see my screen right now?
Not yet. All right. Yes.
Okay, so just a quick overview. So if anyone needs just to see a list of our connectors, they're available on our website. We also some separate pages for several products. Most of our documentation can be found here. Also, it's easy to access from the platform itself. So let's try to sign in. So our sign-in process and account process is fairly simple. So you need just email to log in to go, and you right away will be on a free plan. So Skyvia is the freemium platform. So we have, for every product which we have a free plan. And also there is a 2-week free trial available for every paid plan. So which you can get without any billing or credit card information. So, and typically how our partners would manage their clients, they would create separate accounts for every client they have. This way it's easier to manage, like to pass them as leads or something like that. Plus, you have a possibility starting from the free plan as well to create different workspaces, users and workspaces roles. So managing is very easy. So let's quickly go to integration. There are 6 different tools inside. So I'll start from the easiest one to complex one. So I'll start with replication. So replication allows you to create copies of the cloud database and to send it to the data warehouse. So how does it work? During the first run, you'll create a connection. So you can select any of our supported cloud apps. We currently support 140 connectors, and we keep adding. So we plan to be at 200 connectors during the next 12 months. And as you guys a partner, thank you for being our partner. If you have any apps which you like us potentially to add, you can ask for those, and I'll push them for higher priority. Currently on our roadmap overall, we have like 900 different connectors. But obviously the priorities are different, and also priorities are based on the requirements by our partners. So during the first round, you will select the connection. You'll create a connection. So for every cloud app, it might be slightly different. Over here, you have a link to our documentation, which will send you right away to our documentation page, which will show how to connect, which is pretty detailed one. Also, for certain apps, keep in mind that we might have some specific features and limitations. Most of them are minor, but still need, if you guys are involved with many different projects and many different cloud apps or something like that, I would certainly take a look for this part just to make sure everything fits you well. I mean, Skyvia, again, is a pretty good product, but obviously it won't be a fit for every single case in the world. So we understand that, and again, just keep that in mind. So during the first round, you will create connection. After that, your connections will be here, so you can name them differently and you can use them, and you will select it. After that, as a target, you select one of the data warehouses, one of those 8 where you'd like to send copies of your database. So basically, it's like ELT tool. So if we can name it this way, here the list of all the objects which are available to create copies of. You can select all of them or some of them. Here you can click on pencil as well, which will allow you to see the columns which are inside basically and create different filters for groups and conditions. So you'll save it and you're good to go. During the first run, Skyvia will be able to create tables for you if needed. And also, if you have the box incremental updates checked, it means that during the second run, only the data which was changed will be created. So that will be copied. So changed or new data. If you have this box unchecked, every time it will create a copy of the full database all over again. Here, as for works everywhere is a schedule. So this is how you just set it up. Again, as I shared, the fastest you can go is every minute integrations. So you can just go recurring every minute and you will save and you're good to go. And yeah, so you can also validate the connection and work with that. Yeah, nothing complicated here. So let's go next. Next one by complexity is export. Export allows you to get CSV files from any data source which we support. Principle is the same for the source. You select the connection. As a target, you can send either CSV files manually, so they will go to your device, or you can send them to the storage service, one of those 8.
All right.
Again, you can put a schedule, and here you'll be able to create a task. So there is a source definition and output columns. So in the source definition, there are 2 modes, simple mode and advanced mode. In advanced mode, you can execute command, and you can type in the SQL code, or you can execute query. Skyvia has our own query builder, so which is fairly simple to use. You can apply different filters or sort fields and save it here. Or you can just go for a simple mode and just select the object which you like to export. So you'll just select here. You can, again, put some filters in place. You can order them. You can select just particular columns which you need to export. After that, you go for next step. And you can define the name of the columns in your CSV file. So, and you will save, and you're good to go. So next one by complexity is our import. So import is basically ETL tool. So there are several sources available, several targets. So as a source, you can select CSV files manually. So from your device, you can take them from one of the storage services as a shared one of those 8.
Nice.
Or you can select some of the data, so like all our data sources, data warehouses, or data servers. If you need to connect to servers on premise or something like that, so you can just, by clicking on servers which you need, there are different connection modes. So you have direct when you need to connect direct, or you can connect it via agent. So, and how to create agents, it's available in our documentation as well. So again, as a target, you have a range of things which are available. So, and after that, you will go for schedule and you have tasks. Similar to export, but there are adding some things. So there is a source definition, target definition, mapping definition. Again, for source definition is the same. So it's advanced mode with the SQL command, or simple mode when you select the database. So you can put some groups by groups or conditions. After that, you go for target, you're selecting where the data actually should go. So, and you can select the operation. And after that, you go for the mapping. So my GBQ is empty, but when you click here, like at any place, so there are different ways how you can map things. So it can be column to column integration, mapping. It can be constant, it can be expression, it can be target lookup or source lookup. So in expression, for example, you can create different formulas if you need to modify data. So for whatever formulas, we have different functions and things which you can apply towards the data which you plan to map. So, and you will apply that. So, and after that, you just map if needed, and you're good to go. So for bidirectional integrations, people use synchronization. So synchronization is basically import with double mapping, if we can call it this way. So you'll select two data sources or something like that. So you put a schedule and you can put a task in place. So you can do 1-to-1, 2-to-1, or 1-to-2 integrations here. So you go for next steps, and then output columns. In columns definition, you see you have source to target and target to source, which allows you to put the mapping in place for both sides. So you'll save it and you're good to go. And for more complex things, people use data flow and control flow. So how data flow works, you can select multiple sources and define different, schemas and put some like connections of where the data comes from. It can be 10, 20, 50. I mean, I saw people creating really complex things. So it's more like up to imagination and capabilities of everyone. So, so some of the operations which you can do are similar. Yeah, most operations you can do are similar, like import. So, but there are some additional things you can do: splits, conditional splits, like expressions, lookups, and different things on the way. So again, you can do it on schedule. We have also a flow inspector, so which will direct you if there are any things are missing. And over here we have a guide, which is pretty detailed one, so you don't have to just rely on me covering just everything in words. So there is a guide which is able to cover most of the things and actions. So, and for more complexity, you can use control flow when you need to put some integrations in the order. So how does it work? For example, if you need to you would like first to execute some data flow, you can do it here. So it will allow you to open your data flow and put something in place. And let's say after that, you want to do like some multiple integrations in parallel, which you already preset up before, and you can put them on both sides and you can execute integrations. So what you can do, you can select one from the package which you previously created. So it can be like some synchronization packages or import packages or export packages or anything like that. So and let's say after that you would like to do another data flow for another transformation, you can do it here as well. So again, complexity is not limited. So there are really lots of things you can do. So it's more like up to the every case imagination. And again, if this particular tool is the best for a particular case, because my understanding that your guy is pretty, you know, versed in different tools. So I understand the business side, just what brings you the fastest results at the best value. So which is another thing on the plate. So speaking of accounts and pricing structures, so again, you can see here the like users, workspaces. Also, you can set up error notifications to yourself. So if any errors appear, you can do that. So our pricing is considered one of the most affordable in the market. So we price based on several things. First of all, it's based on records per month. What stands for the record is one unique row of the table. So, and if let's say you just need more records, but a simple plan, you can just go for more records in a simple plan. So if that's needed. Second thing is based on scheduling. So if you need every minute integrations, you need a higher plan. Also, it's based on scheduled integrations. So if you need more scheduled integrations, you need a higher plan. And also it's based on integration scenarios and mapping features. So what do we mean by that? So if you need expression mapping, like formulas as a shared, you need at least standard plan. If you need data flow, you need at least standard plan. And if you need the control flow, you need at least a professional plan. So, and over here, you can see in my case, it says no trials. But when you create the account, you will have here like trial. And if you click here, it will ask you for marketing purposes, like what do you plan to connect or something like that, I think. But after that, it will approve your trial immediately. So for every basic client or every account created, you can request a 2-week trial and just use it to your own advantage. And I typically recommend to go for the highest plan right away, so it can give you, like, you get full unlimited, you know, accessibility to all the features.
You test everything, yeah.
And you will get a feel for records, because you might just end up, oh, I just need the basic plan for this particular customer, but maybe just for more records, so, or something like that. So which is totally fine as well. So another quick thing, like for reporting, some of our partners use our product, which is called Connect. So there is a simple mode and advanced mode. So basically it allows you to create quickly the endpoints. So how does it work? It's just simple as that. You just go for simple mode or advanced mode if you need it. You create the connection. And so you select the databases which you like potentially to connect to. It can be one, it can be some. And you can define what will be visible, what's not. You define a key and all this type of things. You'll go for next step and you can configure security. So you can put a username and password for like who can access your link. You'll adjust the settings. You can go for read or write mode, or and select the version and select the name. You will save, and after that you can use this link to connect this database like via sources which support all data endpoints. So you can also check the model, check the log, you know, what was done or which data was moved. So that's another thing which we have. Pricing is based on traffic per month, so be cautious about that. So unlike data integration, I don't feel like our Connect is the most affordable on the market. So there are certain capabilities which are good, but it can be price sensitive. So it probably depends on every project, but so far people who use it kind of like it, but sometimes we get pricing concerns, and we are investigating that right now. So, but just so just trying to be upfront. And yeah, how our query builder works, just simple as that. So first of all, what you need to know about our query, it's available as extension for Google Sheets and CSV files. So when you go there and you have extensions, you can select Skyvia query. So let's say after you created some queries for some particular apps or databases, after you applied some filters, you execute it, you can save it. You can also put some SQL code in place, so it will be always available. So what you can do, you can either download it in PDFs or CSV files, or you can access directly your query from CSV files in Google Sheets via the extension. So plans for query are fairly simple. So it's either just limited or unlimited. And speaking of backups, so we also provide backups for certain apps. We don't provide them for all of the plans. So again, it's not sure how much your customers have a need for that, but we provide a fairly reliable backups for some of the cloud apps. The most popular ones are Salesforce, QuickBooks, and HubSpot for us. So, but we also support Dynamics, ActiveCampaign if needed, or something like that. So how does it work? You just select the app which you would like to back up. So you select the databases. For HubSpot, for example, for Salesforce and for QuickBooks, we also support the backup of objects like attachments and documents, so which you can restore later. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Again, you can go for just particular columns which you need to restore or like backup. So you can create different filters by groups and conditions. You set the schedule and you set the name and you're saving it. So after you saved your backups, it will look like this. You can also change the view of this look. If you like list view more, it's fine as well. So, but how it typically works, you will have your backups running, you will have your last snapshot here, which you can go for the details. Our backups are just priced based on storage size, so it can be like multiple users or workspaces or something like that using the same backup. So also you can go for all the snapshots which were done before. So if you need to backup just particular one from the past, you can go over here and you will have the databases which were backup during the run. So if you need to restore it, so you can just click here and restore it right away back to the source where it was taken. You can also select another source where it will be restored. So for example, if it was backed up in one account of HubSpot, for example, you need to send it to another one, you can do it as well. So you can also download them in CSV files or like or PDF files if needed. And you can also click on the database itself and just see what's inside and restore just particular records. So also, if you have multiple databases backed up and there is the connection between them, so we will, Skyvia backup will also save the connections as well. So child records and all this type of things. You can also check for just records which were changed since the last backup done. So you can also restore just particular records as a shared. And
I just want to make sure we save some time for questions.
Sure. Yeah, I'm done. So and backups are just based on storage size. So that's basically it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for the demo. And I have to say the platform looks really clean, although it's doing very impressive stuff. The interface is not as intimidating as it could be. So it's a good job on this front as well. We're going to take now the few questions. So to get us started, a few easy ones for you. The first one is how do you manage multiple connections? So like I say, I want to connect two different HubSpot accounts, for instance. Is it just like with the naming, or is it possible first? And is it just with the naming, or?
Sure. Just on the top, when you create the first connection, in my case, I think it was saying untitled, something like that. So just instead of going untitled, you just say probably name of your customer, HubSpot, something like that, or name of the person, company, and like it's up to you. Depends on how many clients or how many people you're working with or something like that. Yeah, but by naming is the answer.
Got it. All right. Second one is, what is the reason why Skyvia doesn't allow incoming webhooks? So we know we can like go down to the minute for like pulling data in. Well, why not webhooks though? In order to like save capacity and not do pulling request every 1 minute.
We actually working right now on it will be a separate module which we are going to have. So there was some again, as it was shared, Sky has been for a while in the market. So DevArch has some basic tools which were in place. So it was built more like on the top of that initially. So this was how it was done. But automation is something which we plan for at least beta version for second quarter. And I guess our beta version will be free. So as the partners, you probably will get the first one. You'll get the notifications first.
Nice, cool. I guess the follow-up question to this is, can we have outgoing event-based webhooks? So like something is happening, or is this something we do actually through data flow and control flow? Like, so when we sync the data, it has a value that that like a status change. Can we trigger like a post to a webhook, like the payload, or?
Right now, no. So everything what we do, so on control flow, data flow, it should be like time-based. There are conditions which you can put. So let's say every minute, you can put every minute control flow. So let's say you can study, let's say the database and define, okay, if that changed at this time or something like that, and you start running. So it's not like something happens, something done. It will be more like, okay, it just assesses all the time and takes appropriate actions based on the data which you will get.
Got it. Yeah. Another one, because it seemed like an interesting use case. So I just wondered how often people would use Skyvia for this one specifically, because you said we can get the data from on-premise instances. So is it like a typical use case that people want to bring the data to the cloud this way, or?
Yeah, you'll be surprised probably like how many customers, especially in US, how many companies are still like using on-premise some softwares and not like and apps,
like Sage and
Act or something like that. So and this is one of the ways how it's done. Also different like ERP systems or something like that. So it's not like we can connect to every system in the world, but if there is some external,
but the main ones,
if there is external on-premise server or database, it at least allows you to do that again. So it's just
very
something you just keep in mind, and so cases can be different. So because it's hard to know the old systems, so it's another
for sure. Yeah. Okay, but very interesting. That can open up like a few like use cases for us. Sure. Next one is from Hugo, so I'm gonna bring him on stage. And you're here, Hugo. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah. First, sorry because I'm pretty sick. I was wondering. I'm not a technical guy or data guy. Then I was wondering in the future, I would probably have like some specific use case to send data, consolidated data to my business tools, like Pipedrive we're using, for example, based on scoring, or is it possible to send data out, but without like an export or CSV export? I want it to be directly sent to a specific field, for example.
Yeah, you can do. I mean, where are you taking the data? Where are you taking data which you would like to send it to your Pipedrive?
Yeah, it would be consolidated in BigQuery already, I guess.
Yeah, you can just create like import. So that's import. If I'm correct, if I understand you correct, so you can just create import package, like taking the data which you need and send it to your Pipedrive. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, actually, don't have like the database already prepared, but if I want to consolidate, for example, my ads data to my CRM data and build rules based on that, because like above like 80% of this scoring, I want to send a task to my sales team, for example.
If via data flow, you can do that. So if you just need to take multiple sources and play with them. So, or if you need to add control flows just to add the order, it's another way to do it.
Okay, and then I can create my rules directly into your
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and every action, and I didn't show them, but when you put actions on every one of them, you can execute different commands. So, and you can takes just certain actions to get things done which you need to get done.
Okay, nice. Thanks.
Got it. Yeah. We're going to keep you on stage, Hugo. I think you had a few other questions. I'm going to bring up another one, which was data views.
Yeah, same thing. Actually, I'm not a technical guy. Then I really like to see my data, how it's working, because I'm really not sure about my commands, my transformation. Then it's pretty nice to see, okay, is it correct or not? What about I'm expecting? Can I see the data into your tool, or I have to go directly to BigQuery, Snowflake, or whatever to see my transformation done in your tool?
Yeah, unfortunately not. We don't have like this visualizer from directly, because it will require us to access this data. So we just for us, it will require extra layer of things, which is a good idea. When I just started, I thought, man, why I just hate going back and forth. But the good news that with the way how everything works, and you have the validation process as well. So after you set up it, like for the first run, you just check it out. So after that, if there are any errors happen, it will just keep you updated. So, and you can also get a feel, which records were moved and something like that. But visualization, unfortunately, not now, but probably it will be something in the future.
All right.
Got it. I know we're a bit over already, so we will take one last question, also from Hugo, about a bit more business C question. Is like, can you talk to us a bit, I guess, about your customers, your typical customer side? I think your pricing is pretty wide, right? You can accommodate both startups to enterprise, but what are your typical customers? What's your main market?
And you're right, and this is one of the things which I don't like about our company. We're not we are not that directed in some particular industry, so I can just tell you that. I studied, and I'll just try to make it quick, but I studied clients which we have. We found out we have clients from 18 different industries. So that's like in our databases, and starting from smaller to larger ones. Like if you talk about larger ones, we have like Panasonic guys, Pepsi guys, 7-Eleven guys using it, and of course we have a big bunch of smaller guys. We are more used by SMBs. Okay, let's be fair, because bigger guys have access to like Informatica and other, more advanced and expensive tools which can afford, and certainly like great tools, and provide probably more value for the enterprise scale, like as an enterprise scale solution. So certainly, but we have a really range of end users. As you probably noticed, Skyvia still requires some knowledge, like some understanding, or it takes some time to figure it out. So it's like it's not that complicated, but it's certainly not that just go and do, especially if you need something more complex. For easy things, it kind of looks simple to me. Like if you just need one-to-one database and some particular records, easy mapping, so it looks fairly simple. But if you need to use some data flow, control flow, certainly you need to play with that somehow, which kind of can be a limited factor for some of the people as well. So if I kind of answered the question.
But yeah, definitely. And the tool is has a pretty extensive set of features, and it looks like you have several products. Well, actually, you introduced them as such, several products within the platform, and they have separate pricing each.
Yeah, data integration will be the most popular for us. Okay. So just I'll just tell you, I'll say it ahead. So yeah, data integration is the one which is the most widely used, and import is the most widely used again. So because due to obvious reasons, the data flow and control flow is slightly more complex and requires some complexity. But I had a partner actually. This was the first time I found out about Make. Actually, it was when I met the guy who was a partner of us and Make, and he showed to me how he did it in a data flow and how he did it in Make. So just
interesting.
The same thing which he did in both platforms. And exactly. And this was the first time I was introduced, and I told him, I would go with Make probably for this particular case. So that's I just told him, I would probably stick to that. If I were you. So
all right. We use Make a lot here at Legria.
And it's a great tool. Yeah, so it's a great tool. I would say I like it a lot. I plan to probably study it by myself just to understand, maybe use it even for some of the own cases, especially till we have the automation in place. But it's certainly Skyvia can be better, especially for the initial stages, initial setups, or like for larger volumes of data. I heard some feedback that Skyvia is better for that stuff. So, and again,
actually one of the questions we didn't have time to cover is because Make's pricing is based on, you know, execution
events,
and it doesn't look like your pricing take this into account, or maybe it's like in the fine print. But,
Nope. Whatever is written is written. So it's just records, and size of columns can be any size, like tables, all the other things.
Interesting. So then depending, that could also be a factor for us. You know, if it makes sense for cost-wise. Interesting. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Yuri. That was a very interesting demo. Of course, there's much more to the product, and we would need to dig deeper to really understand all its capabilities. But I think at this stage we have an overview, and we understand already a few very practical use cases we can turn to your solution for. And so basically, our project managers or salespeople will now know about Skyvia, and we hope to have our first opportunity to do a project with Skyvia very soon.
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for meeting me today, and all have a great weekend.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.